Previously on F1 2013.
Yellow flags. Oh, it's a huge accident. Oh my god, this is an absolute chaotic moment. Oh, there's absolute debris everywhere. A huge shunt, and nearly half the grid has been claimed. Vettel is spun 180 degrees in front of me, and he'll be out of this race.
Oh, where are we now? We're still going. Perez tries the outside, and we're through. Oh, contact! I felt more contact. The rear. It's happening again. No, my goodness, absolute chaos, and I've been hit again. But thank God I haven't been.
Hello everybody and welcome to Formula 1 2016. Now, one of the main reasons why I wanted to take a hiatus from Football Manager content on a full-time basis was that I wanted to pick up some of the games that were great a few years ago but became stale when the console generations moved up. So FIFA 17 and F1 2016 are very good this year, and I plan to play a lot more of them, but I don't want to make content on them every week. So my best compromise is to give a one-off special around the streets of Monte Carlo, and I'm certainly hoping that you can respond to this very well. And for the remainder of the game I'll keep on tweeting about how I'm doing in the championship, but there's so many reasons why Monaco is the track to be at for a one-off video special. So just before I'll give you some footage of the race, I'm going to talk about how I'm doing in the world title battle. So at the minute I'm in a rivalry with Kimi Raikkonen, as I'm doing very well on expert difficulty. You can tell I'm not doing so well compared to the Finn, but in the research and development I've helped Force India become the undisputed fourth fastest car, and we have a little way to go to catch up to the likes of Red Bull and Ferrari, but every level 1 upgrade has been finished and I'm very pleased with that. The team is doing a fabulous job. You can see every race apart from Russia I added something to the car, so that makes sure we're consistently upgrading as opposed to saving it for one big burst. Now, the most important thing is of course the World Drivers' Championship, and Lewis Hamilton has a 7-point lead over Nico Rosberg, not quite true to form in real life. Kimi Raikkonen having a fantastic season so far, he's on 62 points. Ricciardo and Verstappen giving Red Bull 4th and 5th. I'm ahead of Sebastian Vettel in 6th place, which is amazing, and my teammate is benefiting from a quick car as well. He's on 17 points. Williams, Toro Rosso, McLaren are the only other teams that have a World Championship point, so the battle to get off the basement is very, very important. And then we'll go through the trophy room to see how I've done in the other Grand Prix. So in Australia I had a very bad time. I got a poor strategy call and I genuinely struggled to catch up to some of the opposition, so I ended up scoring no points for my troubles. A badly timed safety car didn't help my cause either, let's be fair. In Bahrain I was absolutely brilliant. I had another safety car, but it helped me this time, so it gave me a chance to win the race, but unfortunately the superior teams all caught up to me and the best I could do was 5th, but Sebastian Vettel didn't finish that race, which helped me out a good bit. In China I was even better, qualifying on pole and only being beaten by the Mercedes cars. I was absolutely delighted with this performance, and it gave me a podium in just my 3rd attempt, as opposed to in F1 2013 it took me a whole year to get even close to the podium, so I must be giving myself a little bit too many creature comforts. In Russia and Spain, both occasions I finished in 6th, so that gave me my points tally. Here in Monaco I'm just hoping to stay out of the walls and avoid disappointing my team manager Vijay Mallya, who is straight ahead of me talking to the man on the couch there. So let's get on with the episode. I hope you enjoy. My life is about to get a whole lot harder. It's pissing rain at Monaco and I have a lot of pressure on my shoulders, but at least Q1 is not such an issue as I get a good time at 1 minute 35.1 to escape the clutches of the opening session. but Max Verstappen, as we go on board, he's not so lucky. He's distracted at Anthony Noge, and his session is over, so he will not get any further than 16th on the grid as he's taken himself out. And I now have Marcus Ericsson blocking me, and after nearly 2 minutes stuck behind the Swedish driver, I have to muscle my way past and get one last shot at a clean lap. I'm currently on the drop zone in 14th, and that has to be improved. Now we head past Saint-Devote turn 1, and the Beau Rivage is where Max Verstappen's session ended, and we have a lot of catching up work to do. My delta is down on what it was, and we have the Casino Square now. We have cleared it well. Our delta is now up, which means I'm doing better than my previous best time, but there's a long way to go to the top 10, and we head now into the Grand Hotel Hairpin, formerly known as Lowe's, and down we go to Mirabeau, cutting as much of the curb as I can. Very large one there, has to be said, and we're through past Portiere and into the famous tunnel, nearly flat out despite the wet tires, and we're going to burst into the moisture again, braking for the Nouvelle Chicane, nearly hitting the barriers and taking a bit of the corner cut that is legally possible. And now one of my least favorite corners, it's to back, third gear left-hander, and into the swimming pool chicane. I crashed. Oh dear me, my lap is disrupted, but I have infinite flashbacks, so that's going to be a theme of this episode. I have to use one of my many flashbacks, and into the next chicane, the 15 and 16, I nearly crashed with my car wiggling, and just as I was gaining a huge amount of time, the Rascas puts me off. I've lost nearly half of my advantage, and through Anthony Noge we go. It's a big ask to qualify from here, but we do gain a place on Felipe Massa. That's 13th on the grid, not too bad, but I tried one last time to put in a good lap, and then the car hits the skids. It's out of fuel, and my session is over. So I was pushing as hard as I could. So out of the qualifying session is Daniel Kvyat, Valtteri Bottas, myself, Felipe Massa, and Marcus Ericsson. So the top 10 includes my teammate Sergio Perez, which is bad.
I have some information on the race goals you should keep in mind.
So there we go. My objectives for the race are restructured to cope with my qualifying result. So Perez remains the threat. I need to beat him. So let's check out the grid.
Let's run through the grid order. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Nico Rosberg alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Vettel, Daniel Ricciardo, and Grosjean, Alonso, Sainz, Perez, and Jenson Button, Kvyat, Bottas, a Force India, and Massa, Ericsson, Verstappen, Pascal Wehrlein, and Esteban Gutierrez. Haryanto and Nasser, Jolyon Palmer, and Kevin Magnussen rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
And the new feature for this year's game, just like in the old days of F1 2006, we get a formation lap. My pit stop strategy is a two-stopper with the super softs be taken off on lap 15, and then I go again on lap 27 just in case there's a safety car. That's the plan. I really expect a safety car around here. I've had one in every race previously. So we're now going to have the red lights on. I can barely see them from this far back, and we are racing. A little bit of a slow start with the clutch, but I'm away cleanly. Massa has got a better start, and we're going down to turn 1 now. Oh, contact! I've been hit by Ericsson, and I can't explain how. Let's take a look at the replay. So it's a 4 wide. Absolutely unbelievable to go 4 wide into Saint-Devote is ridiculous. So now it's time for a new flashback, and off we go again. Bottas off to a clean start again. Massa much better this time. I hug the inside as much as possible. Braking again for turn 1, and I've hit Massa at the back, and I've cut the corner, so I must feign those positions. And it's 12th, so I've gained on Carlos Sainz, which is good, but my conservative setup has made it very difficult to climb the hill at Beau Rivage. Now through Casino Square, clean so far, but now we're diving into turn number 5 before the hairpin, and look at Massa getting frisky with Kvyat, and he's going for a double overtake. Massa going for the double overtake. It doesn't quite work, but he's past Kvyat, and now he's opened up the door again. We're going into Piscine, or Portier, excuse me. Oh, it's Kvyat in trouble now. But again, my top speed is compromised as I have a lot of downforce on the car, and Kvyat has made some room for himself, breaking at the 100-meter board. A little risky there, losing the back end, but we're okay. The tyre wear should be good for the time being, and I brake for Tabak and into the swimming pool chicane. It's a lot more conservative than it was in previous years, and again through 15 and 16 we go. And now for another tight right, it's up the hill for Anthony Doge, and Nico Rosberg completes this opening lap of the Monaco Grand Prix, and I've built up a decent gap over Valtteri Bottas, but I have to hold on for as long as possible. Braking again for turn 1, much cleaner this time in third gear, and up we go for another assault on the city streets. And Kvyat has pulled a good gap away. Now back to Tabak. We have it, and there's a very close call with the barriers. I cut as much of the corner as I could, but Valtteri Bottas is now well within striking range. My former, the man I removed from the F1 2013 career mode wants a little bit of retribution for my previous life. And here we go into turn 1. Santava is calling his name, and Bottas around the outside using his softer compounds to great effect. And you will notice a lot of drivers on the harder compound as well because of the new rules for F1 2016. And unfortunately I've hit the barrier at La Rascasse. Let's take a look at the replay. My left tyre was exposed, and around the right tyre was exposed, and I go around, but I use another flashback and I hold up Verstappen for a little bit longer. The Red Bull man must be fuming that he's stuck at the back. It was his it was one of the Haas cars that distracted him, and now he's taking me. Oh, he's taking me out. Oh, it's a chaotic moment. Oh, well, that would have been an amazing pass if it had worked. We're going to look from Max Verstappen's point of view. He's got the inside line. It's a clean move, but he does leave me as little bit of room as possible. And from my perspective, it was a harsh one. But we do have the flashbacks, and I hold on to the position this time. It's going to be lap 9 in just a few moments. The boards are holding firm. The people are holding out the boards, and Verstappen goes for the outside just like Bottas, but doesn't have the grip, and there's a queue of cars behind, which must irate the Dutchman even more. So now we're going down to the Nouvelle Chicane. He goes for another move, and he's got it this time. It's Verstappen through, another brilliant move, and it does leave me for dust. I'm struggling very badly here, and I'm distracted, hitting the wall. So another flashback is required, and we're going to fast forward just a little bit to see how quickly Max Verstappen is capable of escaping my grasp. You can see up the hill in particular is a disaster for the car, and I'll have to learn the lessons for the next season. You can probably tell by now something is awry, and we cut the corner that time going through the chicanes and all that again. And there we go, he's well out of range now. No more DRS for me. We got yellow flags out, but it's seemingly Grosjean has got a problem, but the flags disappear pretty quickly. Braking very late, and I think I realise the pit window is now open, but we're going to continue to meet. I think we're going to break the strategy. I'm so far back, I don't want to risk 2 stopping and then finishing last or something. So now Max Verstappen is behind me again, and I've suffered a little bit of damage to the car. We'll take a look at the summary. We've got Rosberg, Raikkonen, Vettel, Perez, Alonso, Button, Hamilton, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Massa and Bottas all ahead of me, but the pit stops are varied between 0 and 2, so we can't really take this order as gospel. But the pit board's hanging out again. It's a brilliant little attention to detail moment there. We've got Verstappen on the ultra softs now. That can only mean one thing. He's got the might, and he's got the power, and he makes the move cleanly this time. Absolutely stupendous. Well done to the AI Verstappen there. Much improved compared to previous games. And Carlos Sainz Jr. is also in the march to overtake me. He wants the inside line, and he's got it. Wow, look at the bravery of these guys. And the cutback is not going to work. The drag is holding me down, and I've lost another position as I go as far as I can on these tyres. I'm begging now for a safety car to give me a little bit of a chance. It's not going to happen, but let's take a look at some replays as Jenson Button is slow and he's holding up the Lewis Hamilton there, and he brakes rather late. Oh, he's all over the shop there, but you know, that's the thing, the AI, it takes them a little while to have complete failures, but it's possible for them to lose time. So he's holding up the world champion, and Britain will be having a civil war over that. And we now take our pit stop on lap 24. So I'm going to the end from here on ultra soft tyres. Into the pits we go. Very, very narrow streets, whether be on the track or in the pits. So you have to get out of here as soon as you can. And Marcus Ericsson, who gave me a tough time in qualifying, is going to overtake me here. That sounds like the Sauber. It is the Sauber, and I need to overtake him as soon as possible, or else it's going to be really embarrassing if I don't pull off any overtakes on this track. And worse is to come. Nico Rosberg just put in the fastest lap. He's not far behind, and the blue flags promptly come out. Sebastian Vettel will be complaining like hell if he were the one being held up. So I have to comply and let the German through at the track where he lived as a kid. So Kimi Raikkonen has also lapped me. He's my rival in the database, and it's unfortunate. I'm going to be beaten this convincingly by him. But here's Marcus Ericsson now. I need to overtake him again. So let's go into fast forward and follow the action. So here we go. Oh, the contact was made, so we have to take a flashback. And I have to be conservative, but you can see I'm clearly better than this Sauber. They're the weakest car on the grid, as the upgrades have suited the Manor team and the Renault team. The Sauber team haven't done anything. So now we hit normal speed. We're going into Mirabeau. Is that the overtake I need? No, it's not. Contact is made. This is Eddie Irvine and Mika Salo still from the 1996 race, and we're both in the barriers. Chaos ensues, and we'll need another flashback, as Marcus Ericsson wouldn't give up that position for his life. So I have to give it up in the new reality. And here we go into Anthony Noge. Is it the inside line? Yes, it is. I've beaten Ericsson to the punch again, but it's only P18, and there are only 10 laps to go from here. Quite remarkable stuff that there's been no safety cars or anything. But at least I've overtaken one guy around the streets. Lap 34. Here's Sebastian Vettel. Blue flag. Why is there no blue flag? And there is a blue flag, so don't worry about it, pal. So on we go. Further and further into the... oh, there's a yellow. There is a yellow. We've got problems. We've got problems. And I smash into the back of Vettel. But I get to use a flashback just before... I hit them. Oh, it's Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen has failed to lap a car safely, and the safety car must be deployed. Gutierrez and Sainz both have problems, and Kimi Raikkonen though does get to continue. So my wish to take advantage of a retirement has not materialized, and we skip now to the safety car exit period. So we're about to go back to green, as with just 4 laps to go. It's gonna be madness. Everybody has something to gain and something to lose. My tire temperature is not great. I can only do so much, but here we go, crossing the lap start finish line for lap 37, and of course I'm a lap down, so it's 1 to go from this point. We go into fast forward mode again. Bottas is distracted by the lapped cars. It's getting closer and closer into La Rascas. Final lap now. We cross the line as Bottas in the in my mirrors, or he's in front of me, and I've got another car behind. Bottas has hit the barrier. It doesn't seem to give him a problem. Haryanto just ahead. I've got my teammate there. I have to be careful. Sergio Perez is doing magnificently today. We go fast forward again, nearly hitting the teammate in the back. And we now let Alonso past. We've now got a replay of Bottas locking up. And he's spinning. It's Perez. Perez spins. And Bottas as well. But we're not going to accept that. It's time for a little bit of cheaty as I avoid Sergio Perez suffering heartbreak on the last lap. Kimi Raikkonen got away with it, so why shouldn't Perez? So now let's see if this avoids an accident. It does. Perez is okay. Perez is okay. And Alonso is going for that 4th position as well. It's a Bottas, it's a cluster of cars. Bottas hits Alonso, and I hit into the back of him, getting a warning. And with just 2 corners to go, I take the cut and I get a penalty. But it doesn't matter. Oh, it does matter. I decide to avoid having a penalty. So Bottas now has Alonso ahead of him, and it looks to be okay for the Spaniard. He's going to get that 5th place. But Haryanto is doing magnificently as well. Into La Rascas. Rosberg wins the race. It's getting snail's pace, and Alonso holds me off. Oh, it's close as you can get. Bottas holds off, and he nearly gets it took by Alonso. It's going to be a photo finish, but unfortunately my slow speed cost me dearly. And it's my worst performance of the career mode at a time where I really wanted to impress. So let's take a look at the podium.
They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
So there you go, special cutscene exclusive to the Monaco Grand Prix, and it's double delight for Rosberg as his teammate was nowhere to be seen, and it gives him the championship lead.
See how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Nico Rosberg takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, it's got to be Felipe Massa, hasn't it? He fought so hard and had incredible pace at times. I don't think anyone did a better job today.
On to the constructors then. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye and see you again next time.
So there you go. The fact that Massa did such a good job hurts me even more, and pretty much I have to accept the result. My lap times were actually okay, but compared to the likes of Valtteri Bottas ahead of me, he was much quicker more often. You can clearly see he's doing 118s and 120s on super softs, which is what I should be doing on my tyres, but it's not enough, and I can only come that far down. So we'll take a look now at the Drivers' Championship first. I'm down to 7th place with Sergio Perez starting to catch up a bit, but of course the big news is Rosberg pulls out a 10-point lead over Hamilton. Kimi Raikkonen up, he keeps 3rd place, Ricciardo 4th, and Vettel holds off Verstappen. And now for the constructors, it's Mercedes well on top, Ferrari and Red Bull scrapping for 2nd and 3rd places. Sahara Force India into 4th position, which is great, and the bottom teams still don't have any points, so it's not going to be like F1 2013 where the bottom teams can manage to pull out results from the abyss. So I've lost my rivalry to Kimi Raikkonen, but the rules of the game are you get to play that rivalry again to see if you can win it. My prestige in the team goes down, and I gain some more points. So that concludes this one-off special of the Monaco Grand Prix. A very disappointing result, but even when there were so many highlights to remove, it's still an exhausting race to cover, and I hope you enjoyed that remarkable ending where we nearly pulled out something from nothing. And until next time, I hope to speak to you again very soon. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day and enjoy the Brazilian Grand Prix in real life. Bye now.